and say sorry for your loss.
Well, thank you. It's not really in question at all. It's everybody agrees with me that it was a blown call. So I'm taking it like a man. It's fine.
Okay.
Not upset at all.
All right. Have
Thanks,
a good
Brett.
night.
I will. I'll try. The Super Bowl Sunday is the one day of the year the whole country can get behind. It's like Thanksgiving on Sunday with better food, and you only invite over members of the family that you like. Now, if women aren't in it for the football, that's fine. They love the commercials and the halftime show, and they love hosting. And the food's bad for you, and the cleanup's easy. Don't email me, ladies. A lot of you know more about football than I do. I get it. I'm just stereotyping to make a point. And if your team happens to be playing in the Super Bowl, Sunday turns into a holy day. Prayers are said, a moment of silence is observed. I didn't even watch the pregame. My Eagles were in it. I don't need to waste more time sitting listening to things I already know. So I timed it perfectly, or I thought I did, and I sat down at 6:20, expecting to hear the national anthem. But I didn't recognize it. I didn't know the lyrics. Well, it turns out I was listening to the Black national anthem. Good song. But is this what we're doing now? We have two national anthems? No one told me we were doing two. People barely know the Star-Spangled Banner, and now we have to memorize a whole new song? This is like when our hockey teams play Canadian teams. We have to listen to two anthems. So I started off the game a little confused, and then settled into what I thought was the national anthem for all Americans. And that's when our coach cried. And so I'm looking at Coach crying during the national anthem, and I'm thinking, this is a lock. Men are crying. And the Eagles jump out to an early lead. Offense looks good. We're keeping Mahomes off the field. But players are slipping all over the field.
Been showing you players slipping, especially in the middle of the field. And yeah, there's another one. Elliott was lucky to get that off.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't twist his ankle.
I mean, look at that.
It's like slip and slide out there. This is the best Arizona can do. Arizona's on thin ice, by the way. You know what I'm talking about. Amateur hour. Now, we're winning, but something feels off. And then this happened.
Gutfeld, new king of late night commercial, ready to roll.
Isn't this great?
Is this cultural appropriation?
Action.
Hello, America.
That's a wrap.
What?
Sorry, these ads are pricey.
Okay, so the half's winding down, and this is already the weirdest Super Bowl I've ever seen. Gutfeld's in a costume. It happened so quickly, I could barely absorb it. But we go into the half up 10. And the family moves rooms. I think that's what jinxed it. And we're watching Rihanna. Now, Rihanna's doing the halftime show. I love Rihanna. People don't think I'm a Rihanna fan, but they have no idea. I love Rihanna. But all we're wondering was whether Rihanna was pregnant or not. One half of the family is saying she was going to have a baby. The other half was saying she just had a baby. A pregnant woman is performing at the halftime show. Good for her. But again, I am more confused than ever now. So the third quarter starts, and it's bad. Kansas City made some good adjustments at the half, and next thing you know, we're down 8 in the fourth. So the Birds get the ball, go down the field, score a touchdown, go for 2, get it, tied 35. So there's about 4 minutes left. Chiefs go down in the red zone. It's 3rd and 8. And it looks like the defense is going to hold. And the Chiefs are going to kick a field goal, go up 3, and the Eagles are going to get back and go down the field, 2-minute drill, tie it up or win it. So it's all set up for a classic. And then things started to really go south.
Mahomes, pressure, lofting one, end zone incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster couldn't catch up. There's a flag at the 10. Hang on, there's a penalty.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 24, defense.
You'll see James Bradbury. They're going to say he grabs him. He's got his left hand on his back. I don't know.
Let him play. There's holding on every play. You can call holding every time. Do you see holding there? Not really. I saw a little contact. It's fine. It's ticky-tack. Barely touched him. Ball was uncatchable. What's the ref doing deciding the Super Bowl? Everyone agrees with me.
Mike, listen, I think on this stage, I think you let him play. Obviously, Mahomes thought he saw it. I don't know, I think you let him play, finish this thing out. I don't love that call. I know he's got that right hand. I get it. I just think in this moment, oh, man, that is a game-altering penalty.
Just like that, one man ruined the drama. One ref stole our final drive. You think it's a good game when it ends on a penalty and the Chiefs run down the clock for a chip shot? There's no magic in that ending. Philly didn't deserve to lose like that, and the Chiefs didn't deserve to win like that. Both teams got cheated. We got cheated. No wonder Philly, January 6th last night. I don't condone it, but I understand it. We are losing control of our lives, people. We used to be able to control our own destiny. We used to be free. And our fate was determined by our actions. Our actions. We used to call the shots. Not anymore. The refs call the shots. That's how I felt after the elections. The candidates don't decide who wins because the voters barely decide who wins. The FBI decides who wins. Some social media skunk decides who wins. Special counsels, FBI directors, CIA agents, lawyers are ruining politics, just like the referees, like that guy, are ruining football. People like Joe Biden and John Fetterman are getting elected. We are losing control. We're losing control over our destiny, over our country. We don't even control what our kids are learning in school. We don't have control over our careers anymore because an anonymous mob throws a flag. Sorry, you can't say that. Goodbye. You're canceled. Wicked district attorneys put in by a sadistic rich guy decide you're going to be a crime victim. Sorry, that's equity. Now, I'm sorry if I'm a little off my game today. I'm sad. If the Eagles had gotten the ball back and gotten down the field and doinked the field goal, I would have been fine with it. But I'm not okay with a phantom flag deciding the game. And this doesn't make me a sore loser. It makes me someone who respects fairness, just like someone who demands election integrity. We need integrity in our Super Bowls and in our schools and in our businesses because refs, and you know who you are ruining the greatest country on the face of the earth. Let's turn it over to comedian Roseanne Barr. She's got a new special, Cancel This! Exclamation. It's now available on Fox Nation. Can you make me feel better, Roseanne?
Yeah, I think I can. Hey, the same thing happened with the Bengals last year.
It keeps happening.
Yeah. Well, it keeps happening that the wrong people win all the time. And that just a small group of people decide everything for the rest of us. Isn't it disgusting?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's making me sad. And I am the most positive person. My wife has never seen me like this. I'm milking it. Don't get me wrong. Milking it for all it's worth. But I don't like to be sad. And it's hovering over me. I don't know when I'm going to get over this, Roseanne.
Well, you shouldn't get over it, and neither should anybody else. And instead of sad, get mad, because that's what it's going to take. A whole bunch of us getting mad and then doing something about it. Not just sitting in your house and going, I'm not saying you're going wah, wah, wah. But we need to go, hey, wait a minute, this is our country, our government, and we're paying for these we're underwriting these football teams, too. You know, that's our tax money. That's our tax money, too, that we work our butts off, and the American people work their butts off, and they're stealing our tax money for all the rich people to put in their private pockets. It's time we just go, hey, wait a minute, we're not going to do it like this anymore. You guys need to listen. And a whole crap load of us need to get together and make sure that happens. We need to do it in every state capital, and take it all the way. Let's talk about Mr. Smith goes to Washington. A whole bunch of Mr. and Mrs. Smiths, we need to go and we need to do it. And if we don't do it now, we are never going to get the chance to do it again.
So we get mad and then we get even.
No, we get mad and we get right. We make it right.
We make it right.
Because it ain't right. It's wrong. It's all wrong. And we can't just keep letting it go that way. It's not good for us or our kids or the future. We can't let it go on. We can't just sit here and be helpless and passive. We're not going to get nothing done that way.
And it ain't right, and I never say ain't.
I love the word ain't, and I love the F word too. And I only said it 4 times in my special.
Tell us about your special. It's on Fox Nation now, Roseanne.
Well, Fox Nation came to me with a contract saying, we'd love you to do an hour of comedy. And I was shocked. I was so happy, but they said, no racism, sexism, homophobia, anti-Semitism, or transphobia. I go, there goes my whole F and F. And they said, and you can't say the F word neither. But then my lawyers were able to go back a few times and wrangle the right for me to say the F word 3 times. And so I was able to do that. And it's the most offensive I've ever been in my life.
Ooh.
After getting canceled, me and all my friends who got canceled in the cancel culture, which really sucks, we said, hey, if we ever get the chance, we made a deal. If we ever get a chance to come back, we're going to be even worse than we ever were. And I am more offensive than I've ever been, because that's what it's going to take in this country to bring them down, bring down the most offensive people who are doing everything wrong. We got to laugh them to scorn, and that's what I tried to do in my stand-up special, and thank you for having me on.
Well, you're welcome, and I feel like the Eagles were canceled, but they'll be back, and they're going to win it next year.
My son was just devastated in a bar down here in New York City.
Yeah, I was watching the game sober. That's how seriously I was taking this. And now I feel like I should have gotten trashed.
Well, maybe you would have been happier if you had.
I know. I should have hung out with Gutfeld and had some brownies. Roseanne, thanks for coming on. And everybody check out the special. Canceled exclamation. She didn't steal that from Greg. She had the exclamation point way before him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Biden doctrine, if it flies, it dies. Record. It took Joe a whole week to pop the Chinese balloon. First, it was because the debris was dangerous. Then we were spying on the balloon. And then it was Trump's fault. And then it was too cold. But these new objects can be shot down anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter where they fall. It doesn't even matter what they are.
There could be completely benign and totally explainable reasons for why these objects are flying around up there. Certainly don't have to be nefarious at all. There are corporate entities that operate these kinds of things. There are academic research institutions that do this sort of thing. We just don't know.
They have no idea what they've been blowing up. It's been days and they haven't even found the debris.
We've not recovered any debris from the 3 most recent shootdowns.
But who cares what it is? If it flies, it dies. Biden's trigger happy. His pollsters discovered Americans don't like foreign objects penetrating our airspace, so if he spots anything overhead, he launches a missile strike. Shoot first, ask questions later. If your kid hits a pop fly at T-ball, Biden scrambles the Raptors. If you fly a kite too high, alarms go off at NORAD. If a mallard flies south for the winter, Biden blows its beak off. Rihanna was dangerously high at the Super Bowl. I don't know. Flirting with danger. Nobody's safe. Not even aliens.
There is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Again, there is no indication of aliens or terrestrial activity with these recent takedowns.
Can't rule out the Chinese, Iranians, Russians, but at least it's not an alien. Biden's been flexing his muscle because he's making up for the Chinese balloon and Afghanistan. Prime Minister Blackface getting jealous. He wants credit for the Canadian pop.
Yesterday, NORAD confirmed that an unidentified object entered unlawfully Canadian airspace. It represented a reasonable threat to civilian aircraft, so I gave the order to take it down.
I popped it. No, I popped it. Mexico is going to take credit any minute now. They're going to want to shoot something. Why are we messing around in Canada's airspace anyway?
Because it's part of NORAD. There is the NORAD is part of like it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium, and so a pact, exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
Canada, cool. So why is NORAD finding so many objects this week? Well, it looks like someone's finally looking at the radars.
The United States and Canada, through NORAD, have been more closely scrutinizing that airspace, including enhancing our radar capabilities, which, as the commander of NORTHCOM and NORAD, General Van Herk, said just last night, may at least partially explain the increase in the objects that have been detected.
So we're really looking close now. We're squinting, and we can start seeing things. Now, if a guy in Montana didn't snap a pic of the Chinese balloon, would anybody be monitoring our airspace? Our skies are as open as our border. Is anybody taking this seriously? We need the president to come clear things up. Trudeau cleared it up, gave a press conference. Biden, no. Could we have a little confidence we have things under control, or there's just going to be all-out war in the sky? Just lie to me like you do everything else. Just hide in the basement instead and just going to wait for everything to blow over? Okay. Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker of the House who joins us now. All right, so they're very concerned with how people in their administration identify, but not so much about unidentified flying objects, Speaker. Have you been briefed at all about what's going on?
I have been briefed. I've been briefed a couple times. I've got the classified briefing when it comes to the Chinese balloon, and then I've been briefed on these as well.
Can you brief prime time on the new ones? They're calling them space trash.
Well, I don't know, but everybody please hold on to your Valentine's Day balloon, because otherwise we're going to have big problems come tomorrow. But no, not sure what these are yet because they haven't been able to recover it. And to be fair, in Alaska, it's minus 45 and snowing, going to take a little time. But what happened after that Chinese balloon, and this has been true for President Biden his entire life, every foreign policy or every military decision he's made is always too late. And you watched, he allowed a Chinese balloon that there was no question what it was. There was no question that you had to put a plane up there to see it. You had a bus flying over, collecting all of our data. You know, the Chinese aren't bringing this balloon back down, so they're probably sending the data back home. He let it go all the way over America before he decided. Now, these other ones, they know they're much smaller, not quite sure what they are, but they took them all down. I think we should have taken that Chinese balloon down before it ever entered, so nobody else would ever get the idea they could enter our sovereign land. Look, they're coming across our border. They're coming across our skies. I'm worried about what's happening if you watch even the beaches coming in the boats as well.
So they said they were spying on the first Chinese balloon. That's why they let it traverse the entire country. So why can't we spy on these new balloons or whatever they are, assess them, find out what they are, and then take them down? It just seems like we're just squeezing the trigger at anything that moves up there.
Well, now they recalibrated. Now they realize that there's other things coming. But you're right. There are universities that send this up. You could probably buy a balloon on Amazon for a couple $100, send something up. But there's a difference between a big balloon that's going from 40,000 to 80,000 feet that have like 3 busloads on there, collecting all of our data, and hovering over our military bases. That's a fundamental difference. But if you're like that, though, this administration allows you to go from base to base to base till you get from one end of the continent to the other. Then they decide to take it down.
All right. Well, just don't fly anything over Delaware. You know, anything could happen up there.
Hey, don't be depressed about the Super Bowl. I look at it a little like the Rocky movie, okay? You're depressed at the end. You think you got robbed. But remember, he gets a rematch, and he wins big. So Philadelphia is an amazing team. I think they'll come back.
Speaker McCarthy and Roseanne Barr both making primetime feel better. It's going to take a few more guests, though, for me to get through this. Thank you very much.
All right, Jesse.
Well, a train derailment has turned into an environmental catastrophe. What's Mayor Pete doing?